Experiment. Explore. Enjoy.
Okay, so we're here with Paul at DinSync.
It's 2014 and it's hot.
Yes.
It's hot.
What have you got at the show, man? What have you brought here?
Obviously, we've got the staple products, the Re808, the Re303, and the Re909. And obviously, we talked about it last year. We were talking about the Re101. This is now coming to fruition now. These are the finished cases. They're in production now. They should be available in about 6 weeks. We'll have them in our web shop at re303.com. And as well as that, we have started developing the bender part. This is a 3D printed part, but it's going to be free. It's not functioning yet because we don't have the correct potentiometer, but that's in the pipeline. That won't take too long.
Great.
And then after that, we have which is basically a facelift of the Gilbert that we released, I think, right before COVID. So it's like 2018, I think that was. And basically the first version had 20mm faders and plastic switches. And of course, because we're using getting the 101 and the 808, we have a large stock of these now. So why not make a 30mm fader version? We fixed some things we improved the range switching on the oscillator, and we just got this nice aesthetic. I mean, it's essentially the same synthesizer that we showed all those years back.
Looks beautiful.
Just with a refresh. And sometimes like the font, people have contemplated, wow, that's a really nice font. I'll be honest, that's the font that was in the CAD when I was designing it, and I thought, oh, that looks lovely. To me, it looked lovely.
Yeah,
and
looks great.
It came out really nice. Because the font on the 101, for example, is more closer to a Helvetica font. And I think this font, to me, on the Gillian, looks a little bit more old school Moog style. The black with the white, and I think of
almost like Soviet style.
Yeah, but they're more sort of like kind of blue stuff, aren't they? But yeah.
Yeah, man.
Utilitarian, but it's not. Normally you get a vector font and it doesn't look so great, but this one looks lovely.
Yeah, man. Excellent.
But otherwise, nothing really changed on that, so there's nothing really new sound-wise we can show you, but you can hear it. It's that classic 80s groove. What I think people would be more interested in is probably what's the filter like? Well, it's the filter out of the JP4 or the SH09, but we're using the BA clones, so it's basically instead of using an IC, they're using transistors, so you get a bit more transistor goodness. Okay, so what we've got set up is we have the 808 going to the mixer, and then we have an aux send going to the external input on the Gillian, and this is creating obviously a sound through the filter. Also, we have an envelope follower, which on the input, so you kind of when you turn it up, if you remember the old reverb pattern control filter you'd have on the side, you get this kind of, because it's being controlled by the audio peaks.
Sounds good.
And it sounds really quite gnarly. I mean, you can just run it through the filter anyway, and it's being driven quite hard. If I back it off a bit. It's just quite an interesting effect. I thought anything else we like to have it on an aux send, and then you can just add some background rumble textures to the whole mix, and it doesn't. Sometimes it can be a bit piercing if you put hats or something to it because there's sharp sounds. If you do it on snares, you can get and turn the filter down. You can get some nice kind of rumbly hits. It's just another thing to play with, really.
Excellent, man.
And on top of that, we don't have at the show, and we've been asked a couple of times, of course, because we showed the JP1 in 2019. We showed a prototype for that, and we have a new prototype using the new full-size faders and these nice big switches, but it just wasn't ready in time for the show. So rather than do a rhythm walk, we're just not going to show it until it's ready, because then if we need to change something fundamental, we do it. But it's basically about 90% ready. Then we've got to do the case, finish the case off, but small details, but we can show this one.
Great.
But the JP1 is essentially 2 oscillators, 2 envelopes, and a bunch of cool routing that we come up with on the last version that everyone seemed to love. So we're not going to tell you what that is until it's
secret.
out. Right, thanks.
Great, thank you so much for showing us, Paul. Really.
And yeah, really appreciate you coming again. See you next time.